Hi, everyone. David Seekman here from Agency Performance Partners. It was a pleasure meeting all of you a couple of weeks ago when we did our day one training. Really enjoyed that, and I'm looking forward to this next step in our next phase in our training, which is our series of biweekly phone calls. So 5 calls over 10 weeks where we're really going to focus on individual components that make up the sales process. So this sales process should look pretty familiar to you. It's a ridiculously amazing sales process. And it's broken down into the 5 components. Step 1, building rapport. Step 2, insurance interrogation. Step 3, setting expectations. Step 4, delivering the quote. And step 5, asking for the business. So today's call, as well as this video, are really going to focus on step 1. Step 1 is building rapport. We're building value in you, building value in the agency, and demonstrating your expertise. So how are we going to do this? Building rapport is very vital to every component that moves forward, because as we go through the other steps, if we have that good, strong rapport, we have the trust, and we have the focus of the client or the prospect to listen to what we have to say and allow us to do our job to help them. So how are we going to start? We're going to introduce ourselves with a strong personal pitch. So what makes up your personal pitch? It could be the years that you've been in the business, the years that you've been at the agency, how you got into insurance, why you enjoy your job, what makes you you, what gives you your expertise, why should the person listen to you? We then move on and talk more about the agency. So what is an independent agency? What is different about buying insurance from your agency than it is from a direct writer or a captive writer? So I start with identifying what the role is of the independent agent. We then start to talk a little bit more, drill down a little bit more into what is it about your agency that means that somebody should do business with you. So what makes you different from the guy down the street or the other guy in town or the guy in the next town over? What's different about your agency? And then help them to identify and understand what the process is going to be, so that right up front we're explaining to them how long it's going to take, what information we're going to need, the questions we're going to ask, just the overall process, so that it's not such an unknown, so that they get much more comfortable with what's going to happen. The aha moment here is many people don't know what an independent agency is. Like many things, we know it because we live it on a daily basis, but to expect that the general public has a good understanding of what an independent agency is an unrealistic expectation, because it's not really their responsibility to understand our job. It's our job to make sure we explain it to them. So what does building rapport get us? It helps us gain control of the call. When you have control, you can open up the opportunity with greater ease. It helps build your own confidence. It helps identify the opportunities that are there. And it helps us make sure that we are setting the expectations for the call. When we build rapport, we're going to take a moment to learn about the opportunity. Ask them about themselves, kids, family, dogs, pets, sports. What did you do on the weekend? What's the weather? Where do they live? What do they do? Anything that comes up in topic where you have some common ground, let's talk about that. Let's make this more than just a business transaction. Let's establish that we have a personal relationship here. We want to establish why they're shopping. So other than price, what's important to them? Most of the times when people call, they might say that price is important to you, but when you start to have the conversation with them, when you build more rapport, you start to understand the other factors. Maybe their agency got sold. Maybe they had a bad claims experience. Maybe they canceled for non-pay, but they didn't think it was their fault. And remember, their perception is reality. So they might have had a bad claims experience where there was no coverage, but they didn't understand that. So they come to you saying it's about price, but there's actually a claims experience there or other experience. How did they hear about you? Was it a referral? Is it a web lead? Is it somebody that saw an advertisement? This is going to matter because we're going to treat these people differently, not in the advice we give, but in how we deliver it. Because we know a referral coming in, they're ready to buy, they're convinced that they're going to buy from us. We just really need to present the coverage options and present the application to them. Whereas somebody that's never heard of us before, found us on a Google search, or just saw a random advertisement, we need to do a lot more work to convince them to buy from us, not just to convince them that they need the policy. During the building rapport, we're going to provide reinsurance. One of the things we want to do is make sure that they understand that they can stop shopping now. They've called the right people. We're going to make sure that we take the opportunity to understand their risks and their exposures, give them options, and give them the best package for their that suits their needs. Remember that you have this, you will be their agent. That's the message that we want to give to them. You're going to use their name a lot. People listen more when you use your name. It becomes more personal. And you want to find out how many other agents they're working with. We know that especially in commercial lines, if they've already started working with 3 or 4 other agents, and we know these agencies and know we share markets, it may not even be worth moving forward. If we know they haven't talked to somebody else, hey, we know we can get out there and block those markets. Even in personal lines, this matters because if you're the first call, if we can convince them to stop calling other people, we know we have a good shot at this. If they have called other people, we know we need to get that quote out first. Make sure that right on this call, we're giving them the number, giving them the opportunity to buy so that somebody can't come in. We don't want to waste our time. So we can use our building rapport to get to all this information. So my question to you is going to be, what is your personal pitch? What is the agency pitch? We're going to start with that. I look forward to speaking to you guys here in a couple of minutes.